A lot of times you can outscore a Yurchenko 1.5, which is a 10-0 start value. She's also electric on floor, but we'll see her in the final rotation.
Take a look at this pop off the table. She did a beautiful job flaring out those hips to stall out that landing. A great start for the Missouri Tigers.
Oklahoma begins on bars on the road, coming off a 49-4-7-5 last week. 4 scores of 9-9 or better. Anastasia, this is a team second in the country on bars with Florida, and it's one that you expect to be there when it's all said and done. Over the course of KJ Kindler's history with Oklahoma, they've been one of the best bars teams in the country.
Oklahoma has definitely redefined consistency and excellence over the years, and it all starts off with Hannah.
Anna Scheibele led off with a 9-9 last week, got them off to a great beginning.
She looked a little nervous on the bar. She held that handstand great, job right on top. Beautiful transition down to the low bar. Judges are looking for that last handstand to hit right on top. And keep an eye on those legs and toes. They were completely glued together. I would have loved to see her have a little bit more control in that landing, but great start for Oklahoma. Watch this save. It takes a lot of strength and control in order to save that handstand, Alex. She did a great job not freaking out, but taking one step at a time.
Yeah, certainly doing her core workouts there. And she is stepping into the spot that was previously held by Danny Severs for the last 4 years. So she has, I wouldn't say big shoes to fill, because of course that's not an option, but she has been outstanding, the junior as well. Here's Kaya Tonskinen from Missouri.
Very unique vault. That was a front handspring pike with a half. I would have loved to see a little bit more amplitude on that. But other than that, great start for a 10-0 start value vault. Watch that block. Her chest was a little bit low, which will result in a few tenths of a deduction. But other than that, great start.
Kennedy Griffin's score for Missouri came in a very solid 9.85. Remember, that was only out of a 9.95 start value. It will be out of 10 for Tonskinen. Here's our first look at Lily Peterson, the sophomore from White Bear Lake, Minnesota. She is one of 2 competing in all-around for Oklahoma today. Peterson, the sophomore, was in the all-around at the Sprouts meet last week as well, where she had a 39.25. But KJ Kindler told us, the Oklahoma head coach, that she wasn't really very excited about the way that she competed last week. That is how much she can really perform for this team.
Lily puts a lot of pressure on herself because she knows she's capable of so much. Watch this huge release move right here. That is called a straddle ray. I love how she caught with those straight arms. Right down to the low bar, called a pack salto. She is an All-American on this event for a reason. Check out this double layout dismount. Oklahoma needs some sticks here. And she holds on to it, Alex. Great job for her. That toe strength is incredible.
Gonna take a deduction, certainly, for that chest bend, however.
Watch that height. I love how she caught with straight arms, fully extended in those hips. And watch this landing. She holds on to it, does a great job, but judges are definitely going to catch for that chest moving a little bit forward.
So a 9.775 for Scheibele to begin for Oklahoma, 9.85, 9.8 for Missouri. You can see the scores on the right side of your screen on the score tower populating as they come in. Here's our first look at Rayleigh Jackson.
She can sky high on this. I love how she flared out her arms to slow down that rotation. And she took a step forward, but it was a controlled step. That's what matters in gymnastics, especially on the vault. Watch how she hits the table with straight arms, and look at that height. Completely vertical, and just takes that controlled step forward. Excellent job from Rayleigh.
So improved on vault, has got 9.8, 9.875, a new career high for her to start the season. Her career high coming into the year was just a 9.65. That is how much she has upped her game here in year number 2 for Missouri and Shannon Welker. Mackenzie Estep, a 9.9 in her collegiate debut last week. the freshman stuck her dismount, has really put the entire country on notice. She has been just excellent in the early goings.
First meet of the season already has scored a 9-9. Beautiful Tkachev release move. This right here is very impressive of Mackenzie. She's going to do a blindfold immediately into a full twisting double tuck. No other athlete performs it that way.
Trying to build off of that 9.825. A score in the 9.7, certainly for an SEC team, is one that you want to drop. And of course, Shibley leading off with the 9.775. They are hoping to not have to count. Another freshman, this time on the other side, Kamara Eccles, the freshman from Nevada. The highest ranked recruit in Missouri history, number 7 in the country coming in.
She'll be doing a Yurchenko full, one of the best Yurchenko fulls in the country. Her height is phenomenal. She knows it's good. I just would have loved to see her control that landing and absorb that landing.
Second straight week, she's taken a little bit of a hop back on that landing.
Take a look at her pop. Those arms were straight. She flares out, and her arms are just completely extended. I love it.
Beautiful in the air, though. 9.85 for Rayleigh Jackson, so that 9.8, you can see it's grayed out for Kaya Tonskanen under Missouri. That means that that would be the score that is dropped. Waiting on Mackenzie Estep's score, but here is another very promising young gymnast, Ella Murphy, Frisco, Texas. Compete club, trains at Woga. Just like Audrey Davis, who is a pretty good bar worker now.
Definitely following in her footsteps. She is phenomenal on this event. Look at the attention to detail from her toe point to her knee extension. Beautiful combination skill. She's another freshman with such a big impact on this Oklahoma team. And Oklahoma really needed to hold on to that stick. I don't know if the judges are going to give it to her.
You got to hold on for a second for it to count as a stick. That was really close.
Watch how she is so smooth. Her hips continue to rise. Beautiful pack salto combination. Let's see if she holds on to that landing. She tries super hard. She got a little bit too excited, which resulted in that step backwards. Oklahoma's really need to getting those drills in and control those landings a little bit better.
And they're going to need some very big scores from Faith Torres and Addison Feta, certainly capable of it in the 5 and 6 spot to save this rotation. Elise Tisland now.
A great 1.5. She's so excited. I love her facial expression. But again, what's going to make a difference in this meet are those landings. So far, both of these teams have not really showed that control. Take a look at her hop. Beautiful form in the air. But again, a little bit over rotation resulting in that hop forward. Would have loved to see her stall that rotation a little bit greater.
Mackenzie Estep's score was a 9.825. As we wait on Murphy's, here is Torres. Usually an all-arounder, though she's dealing with an ankle sprain, suffered right around inter-squad and hopefully adding floor back in February, according to KJ Kindler. But a 17-time All-American, 10 last year alone, and she is the leading returning all-arounder from a season ago. And if anybody is more important to Oklahoma's title defense than Faith Torres, I'm not sure who it is.
Huge release move right here. Another straddle ray. Caught a little bit close, played it a little bit safe, which resulted in that arm bend. Beautiful pack salto, one of the highest we'll see in the competition. Beautiful stick from Faith Torres. That Oklahoma team, they needed that.
That's a reset right there for the Sooners, isn't it?
Exactly. Take a look how close she was on this catch right here. Judges are looking for those arms to be fully extended. She played it a little bit safe, but man, this dismount just drilled it right into the floor. That's exactly what Oklahoma needed to reset.
Yeah, can't take anything off of that. Ella Murphy with the 9.85 right now is the highest score that Oklahoma has, though, on bars. Hannah Horton went 9.975 last week.
She is perfection in the air, has one of the top blocks, but again, got a little bit too excited and over-rotated, resulting in that hop forward. Watch this pop off the table. Beautiful form, legs together, toes pointed, but had a little bit too much rotation, which resulted in that hop forward.
So we are still waiting for our first, I didn't think I'd be saying this at the end of the first rotation, our first score of 9.9 or better. Nothing, and the good thing for Missouri is that they're counting 4 9.85s at the moment, and the lowest that they can score is a 49.2. That's very solid for Missouri on vault. Only a 9.825 for Faith, because I would imagine part of that is the catch. Addison Faith, a last chance here to really salvage something for Oklahoma.
Very unique release move called a church.
They're going to count the 9.775 now from Scheibele. So it's only going to be a 49-1 for Oklahoma, and Missouri's going to be leading after the first rotation.
Very uncharacteristic of Addison Faith. She typically catches that. She's actually one of the most consistent athletes inside and outside of the gym. But this is a moment for her to reset, gather her thoughts, chalk up. She has about 30 seconds to get back onto the bar. But she has many, many moments of elite experience, so she can definitely handle this pressure.
Anastasia, you've been in this position before. When you have a rotation that's not exactly what you're expecting for a team with the expectation of Oklahoma, how do you rebound from that? What do you say to your teammates?
Well, I know for a fact she's going to tell her teammates that, hey, we need to reset. It's a moment. Let's move on to the next, and let's get better together. And she finishes off with a beautiful executed double layout. I loved how her legs were completely glued together, and she just nailed it with a stick.
What went wrong here?
So she let go of the release move a little bit too late, which resulted her to feet fully extended outwards, allowing her to not catch the bar, but overall finished strong with that double layout. Good recap.
And Oklahoma last week at the Sprouts Quad tied with LSU of 197.5. They won on a tiebreak, and how do you get to the tiebreak? Well, you count all 24 routines. So KJ Kindler did tell us this week that, it was a really good lesson that every single routine matters. So maybe how Addison finished that will make a difference in this meet, but it is going to be a Tiger lead here at home over the vaunted Sooners after one rotation. We are only just started here inside Mizzou Arena, but it's a great beat. Oklahoma, Blessy begins, how about a 9.925? Great start, exactly what Oklahoma needed. Addison Faith moves up into the number 2 spot now, trying to get off of that bars mistake.
Yurchenko 1.5. I loved how she kept her chest completely vertical. Just would love to have seen that controlled of a landing, but did a great job stalling out those arms. Check out that round off, the most important aspect of the vault. Opened up her arms, but I had a little bit too much energy, which resulted in that over rotation. But great comeback for her, especially on the fall on the uneven bars.
Much better here in the second rotation on vault for Oklahoma. Whitney Snowden with some final words of wisdom and encouragement to her transfer from San Jose State. Lauren McPherson, originally from Arizona, came in before last year, but then got hurt, had to miss all of 2025. She did her first routine on January 4th, and there were collective tears throughout the team, including from Shannon Welker, who told us he's really not much of a crier, so you know that it was emotional seeing her come back from injury and have the chance to contribute to this team, because this is kind of really her 6th year, even though it's her 5th year of eligibility as a grad student.
It is emotional. These ladies have been spending the majority of their life training for gymnastics, competing in college. So having an injury, especially so close to the end of your career, can be so impactful. So I'm so happy to be seeing her tonight.
So we're having a judges conference right now is the reason that we have not seen Addie Lawrence's score come in.
This is where a lot of these athletes need to stay cool, calm, and collected, talk to their coaches, follow their cues, because it can be a little bit nerve-wracking to get cold and to wait, and because these athletes are wanting to get their skills done.
So the issue right now is one judge. There are two judges at each event, and you average their scores together, but they have to be within a certain range. And right now, one judge has a 9.7 and one has a 9.3, and clearly that's too far out of range. So you can see that a 10th on a score of 9.8 to 10.0 is that range, and then 2/10 as you get further down, 3/10 even further, but probably unless there's a fall, we're not going to see a score like that. As McPherson now has to wait, how does this weigh on her?
She's nervous. She needs to stay cool, calm, and collective. She needs to take a deep breath, trust her skills, trust her feelings, and really just do her gymnastics.
So Addison Lawrence's score has come up as a 9.5. That is clearly one that Missouri is going to want to drop, especially because Oklahoma, down by 2/10 coming into the second rotation, has started out very strong. 9.925 from Blessy, 9.9 from Theta. And the changes in the lineups worked there for KJ Kindler.
Beautiful handstand right on top. A huge Tkachev. Caught that release move with straight arms and held onto that handstand. Hits that last handstand right on top. And just a full twisting double tuck. Phenomenal. She did such a great job staying cool, calm, and collective, and completely knocked it out of the park.
Well done following the 9.5 from Addison Lawrence. Oklahoma now turns to vault here with Kira Wells. She was in the anchor spot last week and posted a 9.825.
She tried a little bit too hard at the last meet, but not today. She is so consistent on this event.
This is the vaulting team that we have come to expect here from Oklahoma, 4th in the country on this event. So far in the young season, we are very early on, and January usually a time, Anastasia, when both of these coaches are going to tinker with their lineups. They're going to find out what works best, and we already saw KJ Kindler do that to great success with her vault rotation.
It's important. These athletes need to get used to the pressure, get that feeling of what it feels like to be competing in this big of an arena. So it's a good feeling to get thrown in and thrown out. Great learning experience.
Should be another big score here for Wells. Depending on what Missouri does, Oklahoma can very easily take the lead back. But Oklahoma, a program that has defined success recently for Oklahoma, for college gymnastics, that is. 7 national championships, 4 of the last 6 including. So it is a tall task for Missouri, the only team in the SEC that they have not beaten under Shannon Welker. Here's Olivia Kelly.
Beautiful handstand from Olivia Kelly. Take a look at this. Beautiful church. That was exactly what we saw Addison Theta do, but she transitioned it directly into the low bar. Super impressive. Watch this dismount right here. Toes pointed. Great control on that landing. Impressive bar routine from Olivia Kelly.
So far, all we have seen for Missouri on bars a 9.5 and a 9.725. So the 9.725 is going to have to count. The pressure is going to be on Horton, Eccles, and Green to finish out this rotation. Here's Mackenzie Estep. Nothing lower than a 9.9 throughout the first half of vault for Oklahoma.
Head coach KJ Kindler says she's a 10 on every event. And that was so close to a stick. Just a little shuffle on that landing, but amazing control. She's definitely a perfectionist of an athlete. And you can definitely tell why. Beautiful pop, legs fully extended, toes pointed, and just a little stutter. Take a look at this landing. Just a little happy feet right there.
She's going to be a force, though. The reigning Nastia Lukin Cup all-around champion. Tell me what you mean by happy feet, though.
When you get a little too excited and you just move your feet because you just want to?
It's not a movie with penguins?
No.
Well, it is that, too, but not exactly in this context. Let's take one more look, see what you're talking about here, Anastasia.
Would have loved just maybe to hold that landing a little bit more and extend those arms to limit a little bit of that rotation, but other than that, that was almost picture perfect.
9-7-5 for Kelly. The door is wide open right now for Oklahoma to make a big move and take a commanding lead at the halfway point. It's going to be up to Horton, a career-high 9.85 last week.
She is so dynamic on this event. Swings completely. With everything just so compact and so tight, judges cannot take anything off of it when it comes to execution. Holds that handstand. Makes an exclamation mark on here. One of the best double layouts, but unfortunately did have her chest a little bit down and a little bit of an arm swing. Sometimes it's actually better to take one step forward. Watch these hips. They just continue to rise higher and higher. But take a look at that arm swing and then that hop forward. Again, sometimes it's a little bit better to step forward rather than having two deductions.
Yes, Missouri did have to replace a lot on bars, but they have a very talented lineup, and right now not getting the scores that Shannon Welker and Whitney Snowden have wanted to see. Here's Faith Torres once again.
Career high of a 9.975. I loved how she kept her chest right up. It looked like she could have stuck it. Great execution. She opened up a little bit too early, actually, which resulted in that under rotation, but great pop off the table. I would have loved to see her legs to be glued together a little bit more in the air. But other than that, she should be very happy with that, especially if she is suffering with a high ankle sprain. What a trooper.
Absolutely, but because she took a little bit of a step back, wouldn't that be more of an under rotation in the judges' eyes?
100% under rotation.
Here's Kamara Eccles. Eccles following up a 9.8, so things are moving in the right direction here for Missouri on bars.
Take a look at this. This is a very unique release move right here, called a Corkina.
Wow.
She goes over the bar,
You don't see
holds
that
that
very often.
handstand. No, you don't. And another floaty, phenomenal double layout. Missouri is responding to Oklahoma right now.
Just not, unfortunately, seeing the sticks that I think Missouri was hoping for.
Look how she went over the bar. Very difficult, all about timing on that release move. Beautifully done.
How hard is that?
Extremely hard. That's why you don't see him often. And then bam, what a beautiful double layout.
Why is it so hard, though, to swing your legs like that?
You're swinging your entire body over the bar. And you have a low bar also behind you.
Incredible. 9-9, the lowest score right now for Oklahoma. Lily Peterson to anchor.
Lily Peterson did have a little bit under rotation, which resulted in that step backwards. But I love how she kept her chest vertical and had a lot of control. Check this out. She opened a little too early right there, held her chin a little bit too far forward, resulting in that under rotation.
Yeah, how come she was so under rotated there?
She kind of lifted and kept her chin a little bit down, which kind of rushes the gymnast landing. So I would have loved to see her chest be a little bit more vertical, having that extension of the arms, and watching the mat when she lands.
Well, that is probably going to be in all likelihood the score that Oklahoma drops, but they've got a 49.575. That is one of the highest vault rotations that we have seen, second behind Utah this season. And now the pressure's really on Michaela Green in the anchor spot for Missouri.
She can definitely handle it. A beautiful combination. Maloney immediately down to a pack salto. Hits that handstand right on top. Gymnasts do have a 10-degree window, but unfortunately she did let go of that bar a little bit too early, which resulted in that over-rotation and that big step forward. But take a look at this transition right here. Beautiful Maloney. Arms are caught straight, right down to the low bar.
This is going to be a disappointment for Missouri in their second rotation. Right now a 48-6. They're hoping to drop the 9-5 from Addison Lawrence, but this is not going to be a big score coming in for Michaela Green. On the other hand, on vault for Oklahoma, response like we're used to seeing from the Sooners, time in and time out. They have a bit of a down rotation with a 49-1 on bars to begin. They come right back with a 49-5-7-5, and they drop Lily Peterson's 9-8. It's an impressive response. Just waiting on Michaela Green's score to see what the deficit is going to be for Missouri. And it comes in as a 9-7-2-5. So they do get to drop the 9-5 from Addison Lawrence, but now 3 scores counting for Missouri on bars in the 9-7s. Oklahoma is up by 5.5 tenths after they were down by 2 tenths going into this rotation.
Definitely a confidence builder for this lineup, and it's going to be starting off with actually the transfer from Oklahoma, Amy Weir.
Yep, Amy Weir, the redshirt senior, originally from St. Louis, just about 2 hours to the east. The beam specialist, she has done every meet since getting to Missouri. And for Oklahoma, 17th straight win versus Missouri. They have never won the Tigers under Shannon Welker against KJ Kindler and the Sooners. And a special opportunity as well here at home for Amy to compete against her old program.
What an opportunity for her to transfer from Oklahoma, get that experience, but then be able to compete every single meet at Missouri. She'll be starting off with a difficult combination. A front aerial immediately to a back handspring, back handspring. She's doing a great job staying cool and composed, especially in this first set of performances. It sets the tone, sets the momentum for the stage for their team. Athletes on the apparatus of the beam, they have to have side dance, forward dance, back dance, and also get to the level of the beam. It's a requirement, and she just finishes off with a beautiful hold on to that landing of a gainer full. Love how she flared out her arms, flared out those hips.
Did she segue that finish into a salute? I love the way that she did that, trying to like kind of cover up the landing.
Watch this right here. Judges are looking for that smooth connection. She did a great job finessing it. Beautiful landing. And check this out, another finesse of a landing. Hold on to it, but that was the second.
It's a veteran move right there. Even though technically Amy Weir, the redshirt senior, she didn't really get to compete at Oklahoma. She has really only been competing regularly since getting to Missouri a year ago. Oklahoma had a 49-175 last week, the lowest scored rotation, as Kelsey Slade will now enter the leadoff spot here for Oklahoma. So they'll change the lineup around as well. We will not see Lily Peterson, who is slated to be in there. And Kelsey was an option, and she gets the call from KJ.
She starts off with a combination pass, a round off 1.5 to a punch full. The judges are looking for that second pass to be higher than the first.
Kelsey a 9-8 in the leadoff spot last week, which was her collegiate floor debut, even though she's only a sophomore.
Strong double pike. Love how she held that landing for about 2 seconds. One thing about head coach KJ Kindler, she does all of the choreography and cuts the music of each and every one of these athletes. Quite impressive because she's a very busy lady.
Yes, that's for sure. You don't see that very often, a head coach doing all the choreo, do you?
Beautifully done. Great start for the sophomore.
And so we saw Missouri's score come in, 9-8-2-5, very solid from the leadoff spot. You know, a lot of times, if you're new to gymnastics, we do see the scores kind of build as we get all the way to the anchor spot, which is Addison Lawrence. She's capable of potentially even perfection as well. Now, the pressure's on Lauren McPherson trying to follow up Weir's 9-8-2-5. She had 9-8-7-5 last week. A 9-9 to open up her Missouri career last time out against Iowa State to begin this season.
Starting off with a switch sweep to a split jump. Would have loved to see a quicker connection. Judges are looking for leaps and jumps to be above or at 180 degrees. Triple series, phenomenal. Extremely difficult to do. It's super important to keep that first skill super squared, leading into the rest of it.
What are the judges honing in on in this routine?
That was impressive. I knew that was coming, Alex. I had to point that out. That is such extremely difficult to do. A standing layout step out takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of form, and it takes a lot of power. And judges are looking for that pop off the balance beam, vertical chest. The crowd is going wild. I'm telling you, this event is where Missouri can respond. Judges are looking for those hips to continue to rise, knees to be straight. And I love how she ended with confidence. And another confident stick right here. No move, she knows it's amazing. Great job for her.
Excellent start for McPherson and Missouri on beam. Remember, they have to make up a 5.5-tenths deficit going into this third rotation, which is never a spot you want to be at against the 7-time national champions. So here's Ella Murphy's collegiate floor debut. She only competed bars and beam last week outside of Salt Lake City. But again, this is a member of the 2022 junior national team. She's got all the accolades and a chance to be really special.
Front tuck through to a double tuck. She's got that elite experience. I love how her leaps and her jumps and her toe point are just exquisite. Everything is just so detail-oriented from Ella. Second pass here. Round off, 1.5 punch layout. Love how she just danced out of that combination pass, leaving no room for deductions. Alex, I love one comment when we were interviewing head coach KJ Kindler was, these freshman athletes, yes, they have a young team, but they can't compare themselves to anything else but themselves in the current moment.
And remember, they were young last year as well. In their opening meet, they had 9 routines from freshmen. They have to replace Jordan Bowers, which the reigning national champion in the all-around is not going to be easy, but this is a great start now here for Oklahoma this season.
Watch that timing. Beautiful double tuck. Popped her chest right open. Keeps her legs fully extended. Toes are pointed in that combination pass. And of course, we got the champion in the house. I love how she traveled all the way to Missouri. She's doing bigger and better things in Norman, Oklahoma, but way to come from the champion herself.
What did she mean to this program as someone that's been so devoted to it throughout your entire career?
People looked up to Jordan. She was so, not only such an amazing athlete, but also so kind and also so hardworking inside of the gym, but most importantly, outside of the gym.
Kaya Tonskonen trying to continue these building scores, 9.825, 9.85 at the moment for Missouri. Just her second collegiate beam routine right here.
Catley into a front toss. Watching her at the beginning at the competition, she was having some trouble with that skill in the warm-up. But she's got that elite experience and world experience under her belt. Definitely can handle a lot of the pressure. Just the dismount here, beautiful round off 1.5. She kept floating in the air, had so much time to find that landing. And there's that huge celebrating hug from Coach.
Great routine for Kaya, who is this year's Finnish Gymnast of the Year. She finished 15th in the all-around at Worlds, competing for Finland, the only current NCAA gymnast to make all-around finals. Incredible that she was able to train elite all fall long and then got the opportunity to come back here for her sophomore season. 15th in the all-around is not too bad when you're talking about Worlds. So far, we got a 9.8, 9.875 for Oklahoma on floor. Camila Pavlov from Melissa, Texas. 9.775 in her first collegiate routine. That was dropped. Trying to better that.
Starting off with a beautiful double pike. Did have a slight slide on that landing. And for the viewers watching, that mat that she landed on, it's not a deduction. It's actually for the safety and to have a cushion on the floor for these athletes.
Not only a change in venue this week for Oklahoma, but at that Sprouts quad, they were on podium, and that makes a difference on the floor, doesn't it?
100%. They're actually more used to this floor because this is how they practice day in, day out. Second pass here. Round off 1.5 into a beautiful front full. We're going to see a lot of leaps and jumps from this Oklahoma team because all of them have 2 passes routines. They're trying to get all those bonuses in the first 2 passes in order to limit any deductions. Take a look at this first pass and pay attention to that front foot. She let go a little bit too late, which resulted in not her having the time to open up. Great second pass, but yet again, I would have loved to see her form to be a little bit more cleaner in the air.
You can take a lunge back, but your front foot cannot move. That's the big difference. So you front foot slides, that's going to be a deduction, but just that lunge is not a deduction for the judges. Olivia Kelly now, this is really turning into a great rotation on beam, especially if Kelly Jackson and Lawrence can go big. And Kelly certainly can, career high of 9.9 for her.
Great transitions. Judges are looking for that smooth combination with that chest to be completely vertical. Great execution on that side aerial. This is actually one of the most difficult turns on the balance beam. Takes a lot of core, takes a lot of pressure on the feet. But she knows that she's conquering this beam routine right now.
And Missouri never shies away from difficulty on the beam. You don't need to do a double wolf turn.
No, not at all. That's what makes this team so different and so exciting to watch.
They're nailing their dismounts.
Alex, I said it before, this is the event that this team can stand out and show out. They are confident, collective, and they bring in the pressure. The amount of core strength that you need on that double wolf turn, it's incredible.
Can't do it much better than that. There's a reason that Olivia Kelly was a postseason All-American on beam last year. When Missouri finished the highest in program history, 3rd in the country, just riding that wave. It's a program that under Shannon Welker has gone from 41st when he took over all the way to number 3. All right, Addison Feda. She was in the anchor spot last week at Sprout. She had a 9.8 there. It's a first-team All-American in the all-around last year. So far, 2 9.8s and a 9.875 for Oklahoma. They can drop one of those 9.8s.
Very unique entry, a front full step out into a beautiful 2.5. She had some trouble previous meet, but not today from Addison Feda. Overextension on those leaps and jumps, exactly what the judges are looking for. Difficult pass. A lot of athletes start that off, but she has such elite level gymnastics. That was a front handspring, double full, and E pass. Gymnastics represent difficulty by the letter, and the higher you get in the alphabet, the harder the skill it represents. Love the expression, love the sassiness. She's got a swagger about herself, and great job for the sophomore. That entry is so difficult. You are twisting and trying to find that timing. She held that landing so close. Just a little bit of a stutter. Again, a happy feet situation.
Oklahoma did have a 5.5-tenths lead coming into this rotation. They're trying to keep it going, but a little bit of pressure now for Missouri on beam with a 9.9 from Olivia Kelly and Rayleigh Jackson.
Another combination skill, but unfortunately has to repeat because there was a slight break. She is needing to repeat that skill in order to get enough bonus in her beam routine. She did a great job staying cool, calm, and collective, because sometimes that can throw you off, Alex, big time.
At the moment, Amy Weir's 9.825 is the score to be dropped. They can only drop one, though.
Sky high, switch leap to a switch half. Extremely difficult to do. Just the dismount here. A front gainer pike. Just that step in the back direction. But other than that, she did a great job keeping herself together. And here we are with Mackenzie E-step. A front layout straight into a double full. All about timing and execution. Extremely difficult to do. She is a powerhouse athlete. I'm excited to watch this skill tonight.
E-step coming up right now here on floor. That was her collegiate floor debut. Scored a 9.925. She is going to be an absolute force. Interestingly enough, assistant coach Tom Haley reset the direction of her floor passes because she was having trouble warming up. That's a keen eye right there for a coach that you know well.
That's right, and that's why they call her a gamer. Watch this front layup to a front double full. Would have loved to see her legs and toes a little bit glued more together. But head coach KJ Kindler said when she was choreographing this floor routine, she needed something happy and exciting. She loves to smile. She's very passionate. This floor routine definitely suits her very well. Already such a dependable athlete for this Oklahoma team. Round off 2.5. This is a freshman that's got so much to give. I'm excited to watch her the remaining of her career. This first skill is all about timing. You have to be so quick, so composed. Again, those feet would have been a little bit better in the air, but not there. They were fully glued together and did such a great job controlling those landings.
It's exactly the way you want to start off your Oklahoma career. And there's the post-mortem from Tom Haley, and now the hugs coming from everyone else on that Oklahoma Sooner team. Addison Lawrence, back-to-back 9.95s to start her senior year. She is in the anchor spot, somewhere she has not gotten to be because it was Helen Hu and then Sienna Schreiber. Helen comes back on beam and wins the national championship last year. It's Addie's turn this season.
I agree. Addie was definitely under the radar for so many years, but like you said, Alex, it is her time to shine. She solidified this spot in the anchor. She is so beautiful to watch. Extremely difficult to do. She was actually a little bit crooked on that, but you know, us gymnasts, we have some cat-like instincts, and she was able to grasp on that beam with her toes.
The only way you hang on to that 4-inch wide apparatus.
Her flexibility is just uncomparable. It's beautiful.
This is a really important routine, too, because Riley Jackson's 9.8 is the score that would be dropped if Lawrence can hit and nail this routine.
Finishing it off with a dismount here. A round off 1.5. And again, she responds. With the stick, she knows it was good, it was easy. That's just what they do.
I wish she just had some personality.
Take a look at this. She was a little bit crooked in that side area, which resulted kind of in a wobbly back handspring.
Covered it up quite well, though.
Watch those toes. Clicks those heels right together. Exactly what the judges are looking for, and a little bit of a tongue out, too.
Ain't no thing. So it looks like the 9.8 from Riley Jackson will go away, and Missouri will improve their score of 49.25 on beam. But where will Oklahoma finish? Still looking for their first 9.9. They have been consistent, though. Can't go lower than a 49.225. It's up to Elle Mueller. This is her only event usually. She's about 4 weeks behind, according to Coach Kindler, because she had elbow surgery in October.
Front tuck through to a double tuck. Very dramatic, expressive floor routine. Kind of reminds me of Jordan Bowers.
Not the worst comparison. Jordan was one of 4 Oklahoma gymnasts to win the National All-Around Championship.
Front layout to a front 1.5. Again, does such a great job holding on to those landings. I know from experience, a lot of these athletes at Oklahoma, they do train their endurance. And take a look at Jordan. You can see she's proud of her younger teammate right there, cheering her on.
She's feeling it from a whole different side now, not being down there on the floor.
It's actually more nerve-wracking watching than probably actually competing.
I do not doubt that one bit.
Great job for Elle Miller. Front tuck through to that. Double tuck and watch that landing, does not move. And you can tell the champion has risen up from her seat. She knows that was good.
You know, Jordan, of those 4 Oklahoma gymnasts to win the all-around, Kelly Garrison, Maggie Nichols, Jordan, of course, and
the lady sitting right next to me,
Anastasia Webb. Well, Tom Haley has had his imprint on this floor rotation for Oklahoma for so many years. What's remarkable about the Sooners, too, is that on this event, Theta had a 9.85 last week at the Sprouts Quad. You saw it on ABC. Moved up to the leadoff spot tonight to get them going.
Addison has perfected her consistency on this event. She's cleaned up her form, and that's what kind of led to her leading off this team. She's a strong sophomore with great leadership experience. And watch how she puts so much pressure on that front foot. It allows no movement. There she does it again. A lot of pressure on that first foot. She's got a career high of a 9.95. It looks like she's gonna get pretty dang close to that. Love how aggressive she is, how fluid she is on the balance beam. Shows off her flexibility. It's a huge testament also to her club gym. She was also coached by her parents, which makes such a big influence on her as well. I know she's a close family individual. Honors her family. Just the dismount here. Back handspring into a gainer full. No question, that is how Oklahoma leads the balance beam. That was phenomenal. What a great start for the sophomore.
Anastasia, how much does that help, knowing that you're protecting a lead and you get that type of routine to start off?
It means everything. The start of an athlete on the balance beam means everything. And take a look at that pressure. The most pressure I've seen of any gymnast. Watch that gainer full, watches the floor, spots it, and holds that landing. It looks a little emotional on that balance beam.
It's going to be a very solid score for Oklahoma, who just has to stay on the beam, and they are going to take this duel at Missouri. They're 6th in the country, though, on floor, their highest ranked event. Finished last year ranked 4th, behind only Oklahoma, UCLA, and LSU. It's Elise Tisler to lead off.
Much improved combination pass. And if it's anybody who can command the crowd, command your attention with that facial expression, it's definitely Elise. Overextension on those leaps. Judges are looking for at or above 180 degrees, and that was well above 180. In her leadership growth this year, head coach Shannon says, finishing off with this combination pass, 1.5 punch front layout, That second skill was actually higher than the first, which is exactly what the judges are looking for, and she finishes off with a statement. Look at the overextension on that switch full to a straddle. So impressive on her flexibility. I wish I had that much.
Just the way that Missouri wanted to start off on floor, trying to put a little bit of pressure on Oklahoma as the Tiger Tail swings here inside Mizzou Arena.
Finishes it off with a cherry on top finish. Great job for Kira. Watch this cat leap into a switch leg side aerial. Normally a bunch of athletes do not do that switch leg function into that skill. Great pop into the air. She should be really proud of that beam routine, especially going in their second meet of the season.
OU showing why they're the defending and 7-time national champions. They have one hiccup to start off the meet. And by hiccup, for a lot of teams, a 49-1 is not a bad rotation. For Oklahoma, it's not what they're looking for. They've been lights out since. Now Rayleigh Jackson, the sophomore, moved up to second in the order this week.
One of the best round-off back handspring double pikes in the competition I've seen so far. Super clean, opened at that perfect timing, and again had that absorbed landing.
I think you could have walked underneath that. 9.85 started it off for Missouri on floor, but you can see they need to make up 5 tenths, I should say. So you can compare it with what Oklahoma has seen on the right side of your screen, and if they are doing so, they'll have a chance. If not, it's going to be Oklahoma's meet. Jackie Turpok in the back, the choreographer and assistant coach for the Tigers.
Second pass here, front tuck, through to another huge double tuck. Loved how she kept her chest vertical and held on to that landing. Shows off her flexibility and finishes off for a staple for the sophomore. Very difficult leap combination, a switch ring into a switch half to a wolf half, extremely difficult to do. Front tuck, straight into a double tuck. Watch how she holds that landing, did a great job keeping her chest vertical, finessing it towards the judges.
And just like Oklahoma, Missouri is a team that needs to replace stars. I mean, Amari Celestine, Jocelyn Moore, who I saw walking around the arena still here in Columbia before the meet. Mari Tarsoli, who is 10 on bars, and then, of course, the beam national champion, Helen Hu, the first ever for the program. So it's going to be a learning curve, I think, for both of these teams. But Oklahoma on beam started with 2 9.9s, and we go from Rayleigh Jackson, a sophomore, to Ella Murphy, a freshman.
Starting off with a beautiful back handspring layout, step out, picture perfect. Ella has really focused on leadership and confidence, and she's just a freshman, and she has just taken that role and responsibility for the Sooners.
How hard is it to lead as a freshman?
It's extremely difficult because you don't know where you stand sometimes, and she has just built that confidence, and she's just come from an exceptional program where people can look up to her precision and her detail-oriented skill level. It's phenomenal. She definitely has the directive to look different. That is such an extremely difficult skill, a blind landing skill. Just the dismount here. I don't know where the judges could possibly take off on that beam routine. That was phenomenal for the freshman.
This is going to be a huge score. She did a 9.925 in her first collegiate beam routine last week. This might even be better.
This is a split ring, completely blind landing.
Some Oklahoma fans have certainly made their way. We know that they have a following around the country, but this is mostly gold here inside Mizzou Arena. It's turning into an excellent home competition space. Ayla Acevedo, the sophomore from Virginia Beach. Her nickname is Ace, but here in Columbia, they refer to her as the Goddess in Glasses.
She's got a huge first hovering pass. Now that is one of the skills that you could walk under, Alex.
So much amplitude, and to land that so cleanly, ultra impressive.
Extremely. Combination pass right here. Another picture-perfect execution. Loved how she danced right out of that combination pass. Controlled landing on those leaps. And she's really stepped it up too, Alex. She's the sophomore that made her college debut on floor at the opener against Iowa State. This is super impressive.
It didn't even compete last year. The team was so happy when her name was in the lineups. And then she goes out and throws a 9-9 in her collegiate debut.
She's definitely earned her spot and solidified it too. Last pass here ends it with a double tuck.
I mean, that's an exclamation point. This is going to be the highest score we've seen for Missouri so far.
That is a ginormo first pass. It just opens it up and holds onto that landing and just dances it out like a champion. Last pass here, nice and control. She's got so much energy. She is so endurance of an athlete. The crowd is up. They are holding a 10. Well deserved for the sophomore.
They want to see it. If that's not 9-9 plus, something is wrong though. What a routine. So now after all that energy in the building for Oklahoma, Lily Peterson will take the beam. Nothing below 9-9. This is really turning into something special here for the visiting Sooners.
Back handspring layout, step out. Something unique about Lily is that she's such a strong athlete and hits every single pose. Pitch kick to a switch side. And an impressive sophomore that has so much to give to this Oklahoma team. She competed in all 17 meets last season. And just the dismount here, a round-off double full. Unfortunately, she did have 2 arm swings and a step back. It's better to take that one step backwards instead of having possibly 3 deductions.
So here we get to see Kaya Tonskanen take the floor with her Hamilton-themed routine. I was talking with the assistant coach right there, the choreographer, Jessie Turpak, before the meet. She told me that Kaya actually came to her with the idea that she wanted to do something Hamilton-themed because she was watching Hamilton on Disney Plus with some of her teammates and said, can you possibly make this work? This also has an interesting storyline behind it as well. She's a princess that goes from good to evil. See if you can watch it as it happens. That's her taking the crown off right there.
Starting off with an E-level pass, a full twisting double tuck. It did look like she did slide a little bit on that mat, Alex, though. Beautiful toe point. Here's the queen wave.
Nailed it.
Alex, this may be one of my favorite routines that we've seen this far. So dramatic, so expressive, shows it off to her full potential. Going into that second pass, combination pass, 1.5 punch full.
Kyle, we have the honor to be your obedient servants tonight. Just turning it on in front of this home crowd, and they love it. Jackie's pretty happy with that performance. They worked on that actually after she came back from Worlds, because Tonskanen was focusing, of course, on her elite, which is a really incredible, if you haven't seen it, go look for it on YouTube. Her floor routine for the elite world, because she has an incredible double-double. You can see it at the Paris World Challenge Cup as well as at Worlds. Again, finishing 15th in the all-around, competing for Finland. And then she started to learn it. 9-8 for Lily Peterson, the score. They're hoping to drop nothing below 9-9 at the moment. Other than that, it's going to be Hannah Shively and Faith Torres to close out the meet for Oklahoma unbeaten.
Hannah's storyline this year is to have revenge in 2026, because she unfortunately had a major Achilles tear last season, but she is unstoppable in 2026.
Saved it.
And that was a good mistake to have. That is a great learning experience for Hannah. She was able to keep her body still over the beam and hold that landing. Unfortunately, she did have a fall, which is going to be a 5/10 deduction.
You do get to drop one score, though, so if Faith Torres hits in the anchor spot, it's going to be no harm, no foul there for Oklahoma. But Shively missed all of last year with a torn Achilles. KJ Kindler told us that this is her revenge tour.
Sometimes when us athletes, when we have a mistake, we get back on the beam, we're actually 10 times better, because we're mad at ourselves. And sometimes when you do mad gymnastics,
Angry beam.
angry beam is good beam. Great finish for Hannah. Take a look at this back handspring. And just had her hip a little bit open, which resulted in that side wobble. And then that foot was completely, I'm so surprised that she was even able to stay on that beam for that long. Her foot was a little bit off, which resulted in that fall.
Good learning experience, especially when Oklahoma has a half-a-point lead coming into this rotation. They've already put up great routines. You can see the scores on the right side of your screen. They are going to have to count Lily Peterson's 9-8, though. All right, Hannah Horton now following up Tonskanen's 9-8-2-5. Watch one of those 9-8-2-5s.
Watch these hips. They continue to rise. One of the best double layouts I've seen.
Hannah was an amazing sprinter in high school. And Shannon Welker told us that she finally now feels like a gymnast.
Great lead combination. Love the expression, love the attitude she brings to the floor exercise. Shows off her personality. Head coach Shannon says she can actually perform so many skills in her book. It was just trying to figure out what suits her best, and big gymnastics is what suits her. Last pass here. Opened that double tuck, easy as can be. As head coach says, that's just what we do.
Yep. This is no longer a program on the rise. This is one that deserves to be in the spot that they were last year, finishing third at Nationals. I'm trying to pick up just where they left off in 2026.
Watch these hips, they continue to rise. And she holds that landing with pure confidence. Front pike step out to a massive open double tuck. Jackie was on fire. A huge testament also to her work and the attitude and the energy she brings to the floor for these athletes, Alex.
There's also so many different varieties of dance that we get to see. Each athlete, it's tailored perfectly to them and their abilities. Now Faith Torres finishing it off. So the 8.875 for Shively is the only blemish right now for Oklahoma on beam. She hits, it's over.
The 2025 SEC beam champion and 2024 beam champion in the NCAA does not play around. She is phenomenal. Beautiful side aerial layout step out. Extremely difficult to do. She performs as if she's on the floor.
Tell me about what that means.
She's so fluid. She has no mistakes. She's able to move with such confidence. And head coach KJ Kindler says she's one of the coolest athletes that she's ever had on her team. And really calms down the rest of the team, and I can clearly see why. Just the dismount here. Back handspring to a beautiful gainer full. Holds that landing. Her chest was a little bit too vertical, got a little bit too excited, but did such a great job calming herself down. And there's that amazing hug that you get from KJ Kindler when you perform well.
That'll wrap it up for Oklahoma. Coming from behind to beat Missouri no matter what Kennedy Griffin does, because Shively's not 8.875 is going away. And whenever Faith Torres' score comes in is going to be good enough to get the win here in this duel. So it is going to stay Oklahoma, the only team in the SEC that Shannon Welker yet to beat for one more year. Kennedy Griffin, though, to finish off the night inside Mizzou Arena. And you are in for a real treat. She has 19 career floor scores of 9.9 plus, including a perfect 10 last year.
I already love the music.
Every year it's been Beyonce themed, and now they're going from the 2010s to a little bit more recent. That's the chronology according to Jackie.
Another huge double pike. Would have loved to see that more of a controlled landing. Judges will definitely be taken off for that. Second pass here. Front tuck through to a double tuck. Great landing on that combination pass. On those 3 leaps. Phenomenal.
That caps off a fun night here in Columbia. Oklahoma with the win, 197-425, their final score. So coming off of a 197-5 at Utah, they've been very consistent here in the early goings in their title defense.
Take a look at this first pass. Legs were glued, but she did have a slide and kind of stepped to the side there too. Second pass, a much better landing. She was not playing around on that one. The overextension of the leaps. Toes are pointed above 180 degrees.
So we wait on Kennedy Griffin's final score to see what Missouri finishes with. But an excellent night for them, even though they are not going to end up getting the win here over Oklahoma. And Missouri continuing to build a team that is now competing for the third time this year. They had an earlier meet as well. What do you want to see from them when they take the floor next week?
I want to see their progression meet after meet. Every competition this early in the season, you take something away. What is my checklist that I can take back to the gym and improve on? Because that Missouri team, they